They say that what retreats draws us in. What we cannot hold becomes what we desire most. This is no accident. It is a quiet law of the human soul. When someone holds back a part of themselves, something stirs in us. Curiosity, fascination, desire. This is not magic. It is deep psychology. And no one understood it better than Carl Jung. We live in a world where love is often mistaken for constant availability. Messages every 5 minutes, read receipts, instant replies, endless explanations of feelings. But what happens when someone doesn't respond immediately? When they smile but do not fully reveal themselves? When they are present without forcing anything? Something shifts. Something ignites. The heart races. The mind begins to wander. The soul awakens. According to Jung, we are drawn to what we do not fully understand. What we cannot completely possess holds our attention. What lies just out of reach can almost consume us. Not because the person is perfect, but because they reflect our own flaws, desires, and unfinished parts. Emotional distance is not coldness, indifference, or manipulation. It is a subtle energy that says, I am here. I choose you. But I also belong to myself. It is closeness without dependence, love without losing oneself, a gaze without pleading. This balance is powerful because the soul does not fall for someone who surrenders completely, but for the mystery that preserves itself even in love. In Jungian psychology, there is the concept of projection. We see in others what we unconsciously seek in ourselves. When someone does not fully reveal themselves, withholds some emotions, or does not give all their time, the mind fills the gaps with imagination. We idealize, we imagine, we dream. Here, the strongest attraction emerges in what is unspoken, unseen, incomplete, allowing the other soul to interpret it freely. Properly understood, emotional distance, without games, pride, or cruelty, does not break connection. It sharpens it. It does not cool love. It deepens it. It does not push others away. It invites them to come closer by choice, not pressure. True power begins when love is sought not out of need, but out of freedom. The moment you stop begging for attention, others approach with genuine intention. So what is emotional distance, really? Many mistake it for coldness, indifference, or lack of love. But true emotional distance is not ignoring someone, disappearing, or causing pain to gain attention. It is far subtler, deeper, more noble. It is being present without dependence. To love without losing yourself. To give without draining your own soul. Carl Jung said true love can only grow between two people who have learned to be whole within themselves. When someone clings, begs, controls, or constantly seeks validation, they are not loving. They are seeking affection from their own wound. Emotional distance is the opposite. It is the ability to be present, to feel, to connect without losing oneself. It is not absence, but self-possession. Not cold silence, but inner peace. Not a wall, but a healthy boundary. It is the power to say, I love you, but I will not lose myself because of it. It is staying close, but not at any cost. It is refusing to let fear of abandonment dictate your words, gestures, or messages. Psychologically, emotional distance is the balance between attachment and autonomy. To love from attachment is to live in fear. To love from awareness is to understand that what is real needs no chains, only freedom. This kind of love can confuse people because we have been taught to equate love with total sacrifice, constant availability, and proving ourselves. Yet the strongest attraction arises when someone does not give everything immediately. When they preserve their own world, need neither rescue nor approval, are present but do not beg. Jung explained it well. What we deny controls us. What we accept frees us. Emotional distance does not deny love. It accepts that love can exist only when we first choose ourselves. That is its strength. It places you neither above nor below the other, but at your own center. From this invisible balance, people begin to see you, appreciate you, seek you, not because you flee, but because you have stopped pleading. Why does too much closeness kill desire? The heart craves what it cannot control. Desire does not come from comfort or predictability, but from the subtle tension between what we have and what we might lose. When someone is always available, responds instantly, sacrifices their inner life to exist only for the other, the mystery vanishes, and with it, the magic. Jung said the human soul oscillates between opposites, the known and the unknown, security and insecurity. Desire thrives in that in-between space. When a relationship becomes entirely predictable, with no pause, no silence, the mind grows sleepy. What was once thrilling becomes routine. What once fascinated becomes taken for granted, not because love dies, but because nothing new remains to discover. Too much closeness stifles desire for three main reasons. First, the mind stops valuing what is always available. What is free is forgotten. What is always present loses its appeal. When someone sets no boundaries, the other unconsciously stops making an effort. The human brain is wired for pursuit, not for living with guarantees. Second, emotional polarity fades. Love needs connection, but also difference. When two people merge too completely, they stop seeing each other as you and I. They become a we. Without identity, without polarity, attraction disappears, only dependency remains. Third, unbalanced devotion breeds exhaustion, constant messages, the need for reassurance, endless explanations. It may look like love, but it feels suffocating. The other person does not withdraw because they don't care, but because they need space to breathe. In relationships, it is like music. The silence between notes is as important as the sound. Without pause, there is no melody. Without air, the fire dies. Closeness is beautiful when it arises from freedom, not fear. When someone stays with you, not out of need, but because they want to. And that wanting survives only if there is space. Space to miss, to dream, to wonder what the other feels without knowing everything. That is why emotional distance does not destroy love. It revives it, gives it breath, brings it back to the pulse of life. What feels secure but not taken for granted is valued more. Part 4. The Dance of Attraction. According to Carl Jung, every true relationship is not a fusion, but a dance. A subtle choreography of closeness and retreat, revealing and preserving, giving and holding. It is not about playing with someone's feelings, but about respecting the natural rhythm of the soul. Breathing, expanding, returning to one's center, and moving toward each other again. This dance has a name in depth psychology: polarity. Desire does not arise in complete stability, but in the tension between two forces, masculine and feminine, conscious and unconscious, visible and hidden. This tension is not conflict, it is energy. Jung explained it with two key concepts: anima, the feminine side of man, the sensitive, intuitive, emotional, deep aspect; and animus, the masculine side of woman, the logical, goal-oriented, determined, active aspect. Each seeks in the other what they unconsciously lack within themselves. That is why we idealize, project, desire. We do not see the other as they are. but as our unconscious needs them to be. However, when someone gives in too quickly, reveals everything, offers everything, they lose their mystery. They become a certainty, and the projection breaks. The magic disappears because there is no space left to dream. But when someone loves without losing their center, when they preserve a part of themselves that cannot be possessed, it awakens the purest desire. Not through manipulation, but because it keeps polarity alive. Closeness with autonomy, tenderness with strength, love without neediness. This is how the dance of attraction flows. I come closer to you, but I do not dissolve in you. I see you, but I do not beg. I choose you, but I also choose myself. I am present, but not always. And when I am absent, you think of me. The most powerful aspect of emotional distance is that it does not create a void. It creates presence. In your silence, the other begins to hear themselves. In your pause, they feel their own desire. In your absence, they realize how much they need you. Jung said, "The meeting of two souls is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is a reaction, both are transformed. But this transformation is only possible if both preserve their individuality." Part 5. How can one practice emotional distance elegantly without manipulation? Emotional distance is not cold silence, pride, or indifference. It is not disappearance meant to punish or provoke. It is an art, a balance, self-control, the ability to love without begging, to be close without losing yourself, to feel without giving your soul away in fragments. It is not about playing with the other. It is about stopping the game against yourself. To achieve this, distance must be applied with elegance, poise, and dignity. First, find your way back to yourself before trying to draw the other in. You cannot attract anyone if you have abandoned yourself. True magnetism arises not from chasing, but from inner peace. Maintain your routines, sleep well, care for your thoughts. Stop checking their phone or social media. Return to yourself, because only from this center does genuine attraction emerge. Do not explain your silence. Let them interpret it. You do not need to justify every pause, every delay, every moment. Over-explaining erases your mystery. When you remain silent with dignity, you awaken awareness. Your well-placed absence speaks louder than any emotional speech. You can love passionately without convincing, forcing, or pushing. Those who wish to stay, stay. Those who love you, show it. Your worth is not measured by how hard you fight, but by how much you respect yourself, even in love. Speak when you have something meaningful to say, not to fill emptiness. Endless conversation does not deepen connection. It can exhaust it. Silence is not distance, it is depth. Let your words carry weight, not quantity. When you speak from the soul, not from fear, the other listens differently. Keep your life rich with projects, passion, and mystery. Emotional distance endures only when your life does not revolve around one person. Have hobbies, goals, rituals that nourish you. Care for your body, mind, and soul. When your life is full and interesting, no one wants to lose you. The most attractive person is not the one who begs for love, but the one who can give it freely without losing themselves. Emotional distance does not mean moving away from the other. It means first finding your way back to yourself, and from that fullness, loving without fear of loss. Part 6. Signs that emotional distance is working. When emotional distance is applied with awareness, not out of pride or wounded ego, subtle but powerful changes occur. Not because you are manipulative, but because returning to your center shifts everything. Here are the most common signs that your new energy is taking effect. They seek you more than before. Unexpected messages, calls, genuine interest, not because of pressure, but because they feel your absence and miss your presence. Your silence creates space that was once filled by your effort. They no longer take you for granted. Your presence used to be routine, but now, realizing they do not own you, they see you differently. They observe, they notice, they appreciate. You are no longer a certainty. You are a choice. Curiosity returns. They wonder again what you think, who you are with, why you no longer respond the same way. This curiosity is not toxic. It is human. It is the mind awakening from the inertia of habit. Conversations become more meaningful when someone fears losing what they love. Their words change. They no longer speak out of routine, but with attention. They listen. They care. Your energy does not beg, it attracts. Their actions begin to align with their words. When they sense they could lose you, they stop making promises and start acting. They show effort. They show intent. It is no longer just, "I miss you." Now is the moment when you truly see each other. Emotional distance turns words into actions. They feel your presence even in your absence. This is the deepest point. You are not there, but they feel you. You do not speak, but they hear you. You do not ask, but they think of you. Your energy remains because it is no longer neediness, it is essence. If distance is applied to manipulate or punish, it will not work. But when lived from peace, self-care, and self-love, everything changes simply through your energy. Conclusion: the elegance of not begging. True emotional distance does not arise from pride, but from dignity. It does not mean running away, ceasing to feel, or freezing your heart. It means choosing yourself without ceasing to love. It reminds you that your worth does not depend on how much you fight, but on how much you respect yourself, even when you feel deeply. Carl Jung said that true love can only arise between two people who have learned to be themselves without needing the other to feel complete. When someone gives without losing themselves, loves without disappearing, they become magnetic. Not because they need love to exist, but because they exist first, and from there, they love. Properly understood, emotional distance does not cool love. It makes love conscious. It purifies it from fear, dependency, and obsession. It allows the other the freedom to choose you, not because of pressure, but because they want to. And that is where the magic happens. When you stop begging for a place in someone else's life, you begin to claim your own place in your life. When you are no longer afraid of losing someone you love, you can finally love without fear. Final thought. In the spirit of Jung, it is not about withdrawing to be loved, but about loving yourself so deeply that no one can ever use your neediness against you.